Salutations and greetings from me, your old pal Marge. So check this out. I'm going mainstream, y'all. When I say mainstream, is like, you like my stage? This is what I call heyoke pre-production. Check this out. I kept all my old freaking books from the Air Force. God, why does the camera do that? I don't like backwards words. Not in that sense, but... So, mainstream. Pre-production. You can't read what it says because it's backwards, because Apple has terrible logic. They should have asked me. Anyway, got my shirt on today. More mainstream, y'all. This is my commercial. It's trying to... This is how, well, this is how I'm going to be self-supporting. What does it say? Straight people like rainbows do. Why? Because they do. You guys can watch the videos. That was my first one. If you check back to my #1 video, I talk all about that. So, I ain't wasting time on that. But, trust, you know that you can go to Etsy or just Google straight people like rainbows too, and it'll get you to my Etsy store. They're only $22.22, and it's embroidery. It ain't no screen print, nothing. That's all thread. Quality. And the t-shirts are real comfy too. They got boys and girls styles. Anyway, Mom always said, where are their feet? So that's what I'm going to talk a little bit about today, is my credentials. My credentials. Where are their feet? God, it's one of the first things I remember she used to always say. Where are their feet, Marge? You know what I mean, because people always say, I will always be there for you. And then Retta would be like, where are their feet? Oh yeah, huh? Damn the logic over verbiage. So, what I want to, shoot. I do research before I buy electronics. I research so much stuff. I've always been a researcher. Gatherer. Kind of a thing. I wasn't real good at it when I was a kid because they teach shit in school I didn't give a fuck about. Math is a liar. They said it was a constant, and a week later they said, here's the exceptions to the rule. Well, that fucking kind of negates constant, don't it? So, tell you a little bit about me. I was born. I was not hatched. I was born, my parents tried to get divorced, and the judge said no, and then they tried to reconcile, and then here I came, and then they got divorced 8 months after I came. So, I am their parting gift. Mom had trouble a lot. That other guy, my masculine counterpart, he didn't help much. He didn't try to do much to help much. So, we were kind of a team of 3, and put a lot of stress on her, and there's some breaks in there. Some true stress-related psychotic breaks, and it made things real hard for us. The good news, I rally. The good news is, as a result from my peculiar, less than circumstantial childhood, what it did is it gave me a perception that not a lot of people get. So like any paradigm, any like program related paradigm that people have always tried to force down my throat, I've lived in contradiction of that, you know, and how well they take care of poor people and all of that stuff, you know, and like even, here's part of my credentials. I was in the Air Force for 6 years, and, you know, I won awards. I got a DUI. And I won awards after I got a DUI. Big awards. Awards like 1 out of 1,800 in maintenance squadron environments. So, I was up for Arm of the Year, but some dude had his canine in Iraq, and you can't trumpet anybody in wartime with an animal. So that's cool. He deserved it. Anyway, so even, I gained a lot of knowledge there mechanically. I've been picking up information all the way. I mean, I started late in life. I was a drunk. I was a couch surfer for a long, long time. And I had a lot of pain that I had to resolve. And that's how I processed it, because I didn't have anybody to teach me any different. And so, once I started going, when I actually, it was even after the Air Force, I started utilizing their counseling services. And dude, I don't fucking care. Fucking who reads that shit? What? Yeah, as a matter of fact, my mom didn't hold me for the first 3 days I was alive. And that does impact you. It ain't my fault, I mean, fuck, shit. You're gonna read about that stuff? Yeah, I had a lot of anger, but you know what? I got past it. I'm through it. I purged all that shit. I earned it. So, I was born on April 9th, 11:01 a.m. If that tells you anything about me right there, I'm an Aries. 11:01 a.m. 111 is kind of a cool number to be born at. I have the same birthday as Jenna Jameson and fucking Hugh Hefner. Although I've been celibate for most of my life, so it's kind of a waste. Anyway, who else? Dennis Quaid. He's another one. So yeah, I never knew frickin' man-made paradigms. I was an Aries. I'm fucking born into this. You're the Tiger too. That rings a bell for anybody. It's part of my credentials. For the last year, I've gotten 30 rejection letters from state agencies all over Oregon State. Hi, Gray Squirrel! He's got a big old... What you got? A nut? Fruit? I don't know. I got my glasses. I don't even know what I'm going to try. Anyway, he's got something. He's stoked. So, I got a lot of time to research. I was kind of... I've always had all these qualities I tell people, I've always said I was born an old man. I was like, I couldn't talk to people in school, but I was the kid that, like, with my little stupid speech impediment looking like fucking Nicholas from Eight is Enough, and, running up to people on the piers in Morro Bay. Catch anything? Any luck? But I couldn't talk to anybody else, but I could always talk to, like, fishermen and stuff like that about stuff like that. Common denominators of things that I knew about, because I was crabbing my own crab under the piers when I was like 3-4 years old. I remember getting my first crab bucket, and I was like, anyway, basket, not bucket. One day I'll end up in Alaska if people just start buying my t-shirts, please. 22.22 shipping. No shipping required if you are in the Omaha or Salem, Oregon area. Mainstream. So, what else? In conjunction with being in the Air Force, I was friends with Bill W. for 12 years. 12 years, it's a long time. I learned a lot, but the stuff I learned about was that Carl Gustav Jung had a hand in it. And so what that did is that led me into frickin' spending hours and hours and hours and hours and countless of hours of time in the last year spending time with him and Dolores Cannon and Edgar Case. It should see, people always say words and I think they should be pronounced different. Whatever. Casey, whatever. And I learn and I research and I think about things because I've always believed in magic, and I think about things that have never been possible. And like even in my Air Force career, it was so bizarre because it was like, and I think I've mentioned this story before, but it's important today about how, when you stop to consider how much of what you think is because of what you've been told to think based on trust and faith. My freaking crown chakra is throbbing right now. So, when you start looking at things like, when I enlisted in basic training, I mean, it was an ordeal for me to just get in, let me tell you. I've always been a fat kid. Always. And it's not because we always had plenty to eat. It was because I'd freaking contained lifetimes, soul times, millenniums of fucking shit that I've carried into my last incarnation, because I ain't coming back again. So I'm gonna go out with a bang, folks. Trust that I had to purge, and look at me. I look good. I feel good. I am light. I should probably have better posture, because I do have deteriorated arthritis in my spine. I meditate an hour a day. Every now and again, something will happen and I'll get like 30 minutes in, but every now and again, like yesterday, I went like probably an hour and a half. Like, it took me a good 20 minutes to find my feet. So, anyway, my Air Force, it was like, you know, God, I was living with Retta, and it was like my last option. You know, I'd couch surfed and ruined all kinds of things to make myself feel better, and it's what I had to do at that time, and it's either here nor there. The fact is, like, God, I did this route 3 times a day. It was 3.2 miles in Anderson, and sometimes I do it with a plastic bag, and it gets fucking hot, and they're contending this with this heat wave right now and fires, because Redden's at the top of a fucking valley, and all the fires from all over California blows up there and just sits. But I guess it's a little bit better today, but still, man, 111, 113, but it's not humid, so it's still better than fucking the middle western world. USA. Gross. Anyway, so, dude, it was fucking, it about killed me to get in. So I did this route like 3 times a day. I get up at 5 a.m. and I do it because I knew I'd be getting up that time in basic. I might as well get used to it. I get up at, or I do it at noon, heat of day, sometimes in a plastic bag. And then I do it like 6 in the evening, and I'd run and speed walk and to lose weight. And I lost like freaking, I don't know, now my memory's like 37 pounds. Yeah, because I was 27 pounds in 3 months. 27 pounds in 3 months, that's what it was. By doing that, and just eating, going back and forth between this freaking diet, like heart patient diet, and like the cabbage soup diet to lose this weight. Well, I got in. Then, once I got in, and my body was reintroduced to fucking carbs, I started putting the weight back on. And then so they put me on the chunky chicken, you know, and then people always kept saying, oh, well, this is basic training, this is basic training, and this is, you know, you can't judge your Air Force career on this. And then it was like, you know, I got to freaking off it, and then they're like, they started the whole weight management program over again, because I'm at a new duty station, so they started me over from like, so I'm like a fucking 28-year-old air slick sleeve that has, you know, goes to the gym 5 days a week, that has been in standards, but then, or met or, you know, but then they start over, and then I was in standards, and then I had to maintain that for 10 months. So I'm like a fucking 3-year airman basic. It was just like, but they're like, oh, don't base this by, you know, this is off it. This isn't the real Air Force. And I'm thinking, you know, all of these things are fucking shit. This is the real Air Force. I'm just getting fucking railroaded. That's cool, but I'm surrounded by these fucking pukes that are like, these dudes that are so gross, their wives probably haven't wanted to touch them in years, and they're like tech sergeants and stuff, and I'm just like, I got no, Uncle Sam started losing respect for me like then. So, more of my credentials. I'm just trying to let you know, people feed you bullshit. You know, what you watch programs your belief system. And I grew up watching like fucking Ma and Pa Kettle, and feel ergonomically correct. Mom, Pa Kettle, and Little House on the Prairie, and Good Times, and all those shows that are fucking grassroots, and that's what we're getting back to now. Grassroots. So now I'm stoked because I'm super comfy. Other people are not. Other people are really uncomfortable. But I live next to a stream. There's fish in that stream, and I know I'll be alright. So, when I talk about TV shows and products and things like that, just know I don't get paid for anything. I mean, you guys heard my work history here last year. I get paid for nothing. So buy my shirts. There's, you know, there's some woes going on on the main stage. Whenever you feel extra woeful, take a day like I did yesterday and just... I watched You're the Worst. I love them because they're like me. They say they live as people think. And then I found Disjointed last night. Kathy Bates. I wish she was my aunt. I got an aunt. Kathy Bates. I wish she was my aunt that lived in Oregon. I'll meet her one day. And I'll cry like a little bitch when I do. Never saw Misery just because of the ankle scene. Because I fell 25 feet out of a tree. I've seen it. Why do I want to watch it happen to somebody else? It's gross. So, I got a tidbit for you guys. This has been a big inkling in the main stage of people I know have been collecting this, and that is attaining to your dark side. It scares people sometimes. When something happens to someone they love or anything like that, and you are faced with what you are capable of doing, it is a very, 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 very uncomfortable feeling. It's necessary, though. You have to. Don't disregard it. Don't deny it. Don't ignore it. Don't stuff it. Because when you do that, that's when your psychosis breaks. And it seeps. Does that make sense? It seeps out when you don't acknowledge it. And share it with your friends. Don't fucking put it in... Don't do it on instant message, or don't have a document, and don't do it video, but get with your friend, go get some fucking sushi, and like, you know what? This is some dark shit. Because if one thing I've learned about from my homie Carl, Gustav, I love that dude, Gustav, he's such a rad storyteller too, is that your light is directly congruent, or your dark, your light, we'll say it first, because your light is directly congruent with your dark. So never be afraid of thinking that you will go to any lengths to take care of your family, because that ain't scary. It should be scary for anybody that thinks they're going to try and mess with your fucking family. So, I hope you all have a good day. Mom, you want to say hi? Wave. Say hi, everybody. Say hi to the 11. Say hi, 11. Okay, later.